What is up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to the first ever episode of Joey Sizzle Sports. I will be sharing with you my opinions on hockey, football, and mixed martial arts. That's my wheelhouse. My real wheelhouse is drafts. I love drafts. Football, hockey, and even basketball. Great. Always entertaining. It's the most exciting time of the year. It's Christmas to me. Literally Christmas. Like when you're a kid and you get up at like 3 in the morning, you're like, you run down to open the presents and your parents are like, go back to bed. That's how I feel when I'm watching a draft. It's just so exciting. It's like I get to unwrap all the gifts for all the teams. For all 32 hockey teams, for 32 football teams, and the 30 basketball teams, but not really a big basketball fan. I'm much more of a hockey fan. And that's what I'm going to do today. My first ever episode is going to be doing an NHL mock draft. So without any further ado, I will get started. The first pick, you're going to be shocked by this one. Probably don't see this one coming. The New York Islanders are going to select Matthew Schaefer, a defenseman. Oh, you did know that. Everyone knows that. It's the worst kept secret ever. But it's not really a secret. It's just he's the best player available. And the Islanders need help everywhere. They could use a defenseman. They could use a forward. They got lucky. They got the first overall pick, and they will be taking Matthew Schaefer, who is 6'2", 183 pounds, played for the Erie Otters. Erie Otter in the Canadian hockey leagues. He is a smooth skater. He is very smart. He's very opportunistic. He pounces on pucks. He very smart player. His player comps are Kel McCarr and Miro Heiskanen, which is pretty darn good. Pretty good, and he's pretty clear-cut number one pick in this year's draft, and the Islanders and their fans will be very happy with this one. Moving on to number 2, the second pick goes to the San Jose Sharks, and they're going to take the best player available. It's a 2-player draft this year, Matthew Schaefer and Michael Misa. They will take Michael Misa second overall. He, a lot of people don't think he's a center, but I do. But that's the great thing about him, though, is because he might be a center, he might be just a winger, but San Jose already has really good centers. They have Will Smith, of course, and their number one guy, Macklin Celebrini. So he can play wing to be in the top 6. Maybe one of those players isn't available. He'll play center. It's a nice position for San Jose to be in. They have an embarrassment of riches. Probably the number one prospect pool in the entire NHL. Mike Greer is doing a really good job. They've been tanking, but you know what? If you want to win, you got to lose. It's just the way it is. It's the way it is. If you want to get the top talent, best way, only surefire way to get them is at the draft. It's not like back in like the 90s and early 2000s where, teams just let their players go because they didn't want to pay them and you could get them. But now with the salary cap, teams prioritize a way to keep their best players. And, it's just the way it's done. I respect it. Hey, if you want to win, you got to lose. It's just the way it is. Moving on to the third pick. Third pick goes to the other tank commanders, the Chicago Blackhawks. A lot of people see them taking Anton Frondell, and that makes a lot of sense. That might be who they well go with. There's also a lot of rumors they're going to trade the pick, trade up, trade back, just trade out. Just, try to get an impact player right now so they're ready to go. But this exercise, everyone's picking their draft. Everyone's drafting in their spot. I'm not going to make up any trades. It's impossible to predict. I'm just going to go with what the people are, who's picking where. And I'm going to have Chicago actually taking Caleb Desnoyers. I think he'd be a really good fit. Another one who can play wing, but I think he's more of a center, more of a surefire center. I believe both Caleb Desnoyers and Michael Misa are centers. But I think they're going to, I just feel like Anton Frondell, there's things about him. He doesn't play with pace, and the Blackhawks like their players to play with pace. That's something that I noticed that they like to go for is players that play with pace. He's also not a play driver, whereas Caleb Desnoyers is. So I've been weighing it out, and I think that Chicago is actually gonna ultimately go with Caleb Desnoyers here at 3. Moving on to number 4, the Utah Mammoth. And also a lot of rumors about this pick. Are they going to trade up, trade back, trade the pick? They were supposed to. They love Brady Martin. Everyone loves Brady Martin. Great player. Really, really good personality. He's a farm boy, strong, responsible, two-way upside hits. As compared to Sam Bennett, who just won the Conn Smythe. So, but I don't think that's who they're going to take. I think they're going to go with Anton Frondell. I think Frondell here at 4 makes the most sense. I think that he can, again, just like Desnoyers and Misa, he can play center or wing. Some people were saying his most effective games this year were on the wing. He's big, physical player, 6 foot 1/2 inch, I believe. He is, let me check my notes, 198 pounds, so he's almost 200. He's pretty filled out. That's a pretty good frame for the NHL. 6 foot. Do I have him listed as 6'1" actually? But I think it's 6'1/2 inch, and they just round up, and that's how they do it. But good NHL size. He can play center or wing. He'd be good on a line with Cooley. He could be the center of a line with, say, Clayton Keller. That'd be a really good line. One of the best shots in the draft. Really good player. I could really see that being the way they go. All right, number 5, Nashville Predators. Now, Barry Trotz, last year I believe it was, he said, I want stars. I told my scouts, find me star players. And the best star player available right now here at 5 is the guy who, coming into the season, was going to be the number 1 pick. You guessed it, James Hagens. 5'11", he's 177 pounds. Plays for Boston College. Played on the line with Ryan Leonard and Gabriel Perreault. 2 players. Ryan Leonard played a few NHL games and then played in the playoffs with the Capitals. I'm sure that Gabe Perreault will be signing his pro contract either this offseason or next year at the end of when their season ends. Some people were disappointed in this season, but people see the value. He has a body style similar to Jack Hughes. He has a playing style similar to Logan Cooley. He's a really good playmaker. He's got a good shot, good skater, and a really great thing about him is this year he was playing in college, and in college you just play games on the weekends and you work out during the week, and that's just going to help him. And if he goes back to Boston College next year, if he goes pro next year, I think he's even AHL eligible. I think once you've played a year in college hockey, you can go straight to the AHL, which wouldn't be a bad development path for him. But I think for him it's either going to be college or pro next year. And Nashville gets a real good one here. It's at 5. The Flyers were hoping he would fall to 6. I think he would have been the pick there. And I'm a Flyers fan, by the way. And that brings up my Flyers on the draft. And this is where I get really excited. Danny Briere, Keith Jones, Patrick Sharp, all the Flyers, brass, all their former players, pretty much. We're going to come up to the... Actually, they're not. There is no podium. He's just going to come up to the thing. Anyway, this is where I get really excited. I think they're going to make the right pick, and I think they're going to take Jake O'Brien. 6'2", 172-pound center out of Brantford. Just a playmaker, pure playmaker. Just saucer passes, just land right perfect. Just does so many good things. He's, I think he has really, really good potential, and I think he'd be the perfect pick right here for the Flyers. And I would be very happy if they went this way. Hagens and O'Brien, I think, are the 2 players the Flyers are going to choose from. I don't think Hagens are going to be there. Obviously, I just mocked him to 5 to Nashville. So I think logically at 6, the Flyers are going to get their guy. He's a little bit bigger center than Hagens, so that's a plus for the Flyers. Very smart, best vision in the draft, best playmaker in the draft. Plays center, right shot, good size. He's a little thin right now, 172 pounds at 6'2", but that's a good thing. Fill out. Put on your man body, and work on your skating, work on your pace of play, and hey, you're gonna be playing with Matvei Michkov, and I like it. I really like the pairing of those two, center winger, and yeah, the Flyers could go Martone here, but I just don't see them going winger. They have so many good. The strength of the Flyers team is at the wings. They have so many good wingers: Konechny, Michkov, Bobby Brink is good. Owen Tippett, Tyson Forrester. So many good wingers. Obviously it's hard to leave town on the table, but I don't think they are. I think that O'Brien is right there as far as a talented prospect, right there with Porter Martone. So that brings up the Boston Bruins, and they need everything. And I think they're going to take the darling of the draft. I think they're going to take Brady Martin. And this is a guy I really like too. He's 6 foot, 178 pounds. He plays for the Sioux. A lot of people say that the Utah Mammoth are going to take him. I just can't see them taking him at 4. I think that's just too high. They might trade back, but I'm not doing that. I'm just doing who I think is going to go. The teams that are picking in these places, and I'm not playing that game. The Bruins get the hitter. They get the guy that just loves hockey. Great player, great guy. It'll be exciting to see what he does in Boston. Next up is the Seattle Kraken at 8, and this is where Porter Martone's slide ends. He is way too good to be an 8th overall pick, but just the players that we're picking in the top 7, they just have different needs. Winger is pretty much the least valued position. A superstar is a superstar, and that's the potential Porter Martone has. And his slide ends at 8. Just way too good to be lasting till 8, but it's just the way this draft falls. It is what it is. Up at number 9, the Buffalo Sabres are just can't believe their luck. They're so happy to finally get a quality right-handed defenseman in Radim Mrtka. He falls right into their lap at 9. A lot of people had the Kraken taking him at 8, but when Porter Martone fell, that opened the door to where Seattle would take Martone, leaving Mrtka for the Sabres, and the Sabres are thrilled because they have all these good left-handed defensemen. They have like 4 of them, I think. They got Rasmus Dahlin, they got Owen Power, both first overall picks, and then they have Matthias Samuelsson, I think, is another one they have, and then also Bowen Byram, however you say it. He's they might trade him, they might keep him. I don't know what they're going to do, but they just couldn't seem to find a quality right-handed defenseman, and finally one falls into their lap, and they have to be excited. Moving on to number 10, you got the Anaheim Ducks, and their forward group is really dialed in. They have really good forwards. It's too early to draft a goalie, so I'm going to give them best defenseman available, and that's Jackson Smith. I really like Jackson Smith. Great skater. Really good at defending the rush. Really good at breaking up plays at the blue line. He's funny. Really, really, really good player. Really good guy. I think he has untapped offense. I think that Anaheim's going to be really happy to get him. Committed to Penn State. So, should be interesting to see how he improves through the year and, gets to the NHL. Bring on number 11, the Pittsburgh Penguins. I do not like the Penguins. And they are taking a swing. You guessed it. Roger McQueen. Big, 6'5", right-handed defenseman. He says he feels good. He says that it was just a misdiagnosed injury, that I think they said it was swollen disc or something. And I think he says that it was a fracture of a bone in his spine. The fracture's healed. He's good to go. Of course, he's going to say he feels great. I mean, yeah, like, what am I going to be like? Say, oh, no, I feel terrible. Don't pick me. Of course, he's going to say he feels great, but maybe he does. I don't know. The only person who knows is him. And, but I heard he crushed it at the combine. I heard that, you know, if he was healthy all year, he might be the first pick in this year's draft. 6'5" right hand centers with talent, fluid skating like him. They don't come around often, and for Pittsburgh to get him here at 11, so they can pair him with Gavin McKenna. Yeah, that's right. I said Gavin McKenna. He's being drafted next year, but we all know how the NHL works. Whenever there's a truly generational player available, and the Penguins are not at the top, that's when they tank and they get their guy. And I'm telling you right now, that's what's going to happen. So yeah, so now they have Roger McQueen to pair, and I think next year they're going to get Gavin McKenna. I mean, obviously that's just speculation, but just seems to be the way things go. Anyway, moving on to number 12. Now this is the weird one right here because the Rangers have this pick right now, but I think it's 48 hours ahead of the draft is when they have to tell the Penguins if they're keeping the pick and they're getting their 2026 pick, first round pick, unprotected, or are the Rangers going to keep, so, but I think the Rangers are going to keep the pick, and I think they're going to take the guy that is really an interesting player, defenseman, Kashawn Aitcheson. They're going to take one of the biggest hitters, him and Brady Martin, probably the two biggest hitters in this draft. They both hit like a ton of bricks. 26 goals in his Canadian junior season this year. That's nothing to sneeze at. And I mean, they're gonna love him. We're gonna hate him. Everyone else in the division, he's just one of those guys that he's like Brad Marchand type. Where it's like he's on your team, you love him. When you play against him, you hate him. And the Rangers, in my mock draft, will be getting him. Number 13, Detroit. They're gonna take another faller, Victor Eklund. Victor Eklund is, in most drafts, is probably long gone by 13. Probably should be long gone, but again, he's a winger. Wingers, least prioritized position you need, and he doesn't have much size either. I think he's what do I got him at? 5'11", 161 pounds, but he plays a lot bigger than that. He's a play driver. He just attacks. He's an attacking player, really good one. The Red Wings are going to be thrilled to get him. I think he'll make a difference because I don't think they really have anything like him in their prospect pool. So it should be really interesting to see how that works out. It's a good pick. Number 14, the Columbus Blue Jackets take Justin Carbonneau. They have pretty much everything in their system. They got centers. They got some goaltending. I don't really know what their goaltending is looking like that much. They have a lot of defensemen that are pretty good coming up, and I think the one thing they don't have is a sniper, and now they do. I think Carbonneau would be a really good fit for them, and they're a pretty good team now, and they're going to be pretty good soon. Number 15, the Vancouver Canucks. I think they're going to want to go center, and I think that a guy they're going to really like is Braeden Cootes. He plays for the Seattle Thunderbirds. He's on the same team with Radim Mrtka, and people say that he's the best player on the Seattle Thunderbirds. He's just not a 6'6" right-handed defenseman. He's a center though, and he's to me he's a second/third line center, which is really a good thing to have. Those are good players. I see a lot of talent and upside with him. 6 foot, I think he's like 183 pounds. I really think that yes, I think Vancouver's going to go center, and I think they're going to go Braeden Cootes. Number 16 and 17 is the Montreal Canadiens. And for the first pick, I have them taking Logan Hensler. He's a 6'2" right-handed defenseman. He plays at University of Wisconsin right now. He's he's kind of like a jack of all trades and a master of none. But the line that people always leave out of that expression is sometimes more valuable than the rest or something like that. I mean, basically, he does a lot of things well. He's good, really good skater, good puck handler, good defender. He didn't really put it all together until the end of the year, and I think he's just gonna get better and better. I think that's gonna be a really good pick for them. At number 17, I feel like they still need some more size in their forward pool, and especially at center. And I have them taking William Horcoff. He's a 6'5", 190-pound center, and he goes to Michigan, and he was in the NDTP, I believe, and I just see him as the player profile that Montreal would target here with their second of back-to-back picks in the middle of the first round, dead center of the first round, really. Moving on to number 18, the Calgary Flames are going to take Reschny. Really good player. I think he will stick at center, even though he's only 5'10", but he's 183 pounds. That's a pretty. That means he's got some good muscle on his frame at that size. Really good skater, really good attacking style player. There's a lot of players that kind of fit in this mold, and in this year's draft especially. And Reschny is definitely one of the better ones as far as that goes. So at number 19, the Blues will end the slide of Lynden Lakovic. He is a 6'4" winger. He's not very physical, but that's because he had a 6-inch growth spurt, I believe, over the summer. He was 5'10" coming into the season. Now he's 6'4". So he's just now growing into his body, just now realizing what the extra height is going to mean for him. And, really interesting guy, really good player. A lot of people have him higher, but this is where I have him going. I think it's pretty fair. Number 20, Columbus is back on the board. They went forward with their first pick, and I have them going defenseman here and taking a good one. One of the best puck movers in this year's draft in Cameron Reid, yeah. He's 6 foot. He is 193 pounds, plays for the Kitchener Rangers, and, really good. He gets comparisons, I heard, to Cam York. So if you're a Flyers fan, he's in that mold. I think Cam York is going to be better than he was this year. I think he had a bit of a down year, but I think he'll get better. And I think Cam Reid has a lot of those traits, and I think that, he's going to be a good one. And it's a nice pick for Columbus. Bring me to number 21, Ottawa Senators. The Ottawa Senators are so hard to predict. They just draft all over. It's like, just when you think you know what they're going to do, they do something totally different. So I really struggled with this one, and I gave them what some people might consider an off-the-board pick, but I don't. Shane Vansaghi, a winger for Michigan State. He's 6'3". I think he's over 200 pounds. What do we got here? Yeah, 210 at Michigan State. Already has a year in college, bulked up, power forward. It's a good thing to have. And then you watch this year's playoffs, size, hitting, intimidation. Those things go a long way in the playoffs. And I think Vansaghi adds a lot that to them. They have a lot of talent. They have, good defensemen. I think last year they went with who was that guy? I can't think of right now. But last year they went defenseman in the first round, so I think this year they'll go forward and they get a good one in Shane Vansaghi. Bring up the Flyers again, and I'm really happy right now because my guy is on the board. He just I could see him being long gone at this point, but in this exercise I have my Philadelphia Flyers taking Cullen Potter. He is so we got 5'10", 172 pounds, but he is probably the best skating forward in this draft. And it's close between him and Matthew Schaefer, who's the best overall skater in this year's draft. I mean, he's just dynamic. He's another one, like I said, in that Reschny, where they have these players that they just have this interesting ability to attack the net, attack the other team's defense and goalies with excellent edge work, quickness, explosive skating. He just brings a lot to the table. His mother is a former professional hockey player. So yeah, I really like Cullen Potter. Arizona State. Who would have thought that Arizona State would even have a hockey team, let alone a first round pick and a good one? And the Flyers get him here in my draft. And I'll be excited. I'll be ecstatic with Jake O'Brien and Cullen Potter. This is like I said about Christmas. This is two really good presents. We just got Cullen Potter may not be a center in the NHL. He might move to wing, and that's fine. Just imagine a line of Potter, O'Brien, and Michkov. That's crazy. Good luck. Good luck stopping that. Yeah, I know they're not the biggest, but I mean, you got great passer, great skater, and just a great shooters and like passer, shooter, scorer. Just Michkov. I mean, come on now. That's gonna be a good ad. That's gonna be a really good line. All right, moving on to number 23. You have the Nashville Predators, and I believe his father played for the Nashville Predators. His father Vernon. So you must know I'm speaking of Blake Fiddler. He's a 6'4" right-handed defenseman. These unicorns, I could have. Now, if Potter's not there at 22, that's who I think the Flyers will take is Blake Fiddler, and that's if he's not gone because right shot defensemen are valuable. 6'4" right hand defensemen are very valuable, and Blake Fiddler does a lot well. Really, really good defenseman. I mean, look at on the Flyers. Who is it? What's his name? Guy's always injured. Big guy, Rasmus Ristolainen. Like the Flyers could trade him. He's actually has trade value. There's teams trying to trade for Rasmus Ristolainen right now from the Flyers, but the Flyers won't move on from him because it's so hard to replace a big right shot defenseman. And I could really see Fiddler being gone earlier than this, but this does seem like the right range for him, and it's a really good pick. 24, the Los Angeles Kings. I feel like they have kind of a boring team. Like their forwards are not very exciting. Like they're good and they're effective and they do score goals. And I think they need like someone really exciting, and that's Ben Kindel. Ben Kindel is another one of those guys in that mold. He's 5'10", 176 pounds. He plays for the Calgary Hitmen in the Western Hockey League. He's another really plus skater, like slick, puck handler, good passer, good shot. It's a really nice pick. I could really see the Kings adding to their forward core with a piece that's different. They don't really have this type of player in their system, or at least on their pro team. Moving on to number 25, the Chicago Blackhawks are up again. Now the Blackhawks already went. They took Caleb Desnoyers, third overall. And so now I think they're going to go for a defenseman. And this is my one bombshell. This is my one off the board pick kind of thing. But he shouldn't be. It's Max Psenicka. He is another 6'4" right-handed defenseman. He has some really good upside. And just like the Blackhawks, he plays with pace. I feel like they're looking for certain positions. They're looking for size because they have a lot of smallish forwards. Already. Connor Bedard, Frank Nazar, William Moore. These are smaller guys, so they're going to need some size in their lineup. So they're going to go with the smooth skating 6'4" defenseman Max Psenicka, Psenicka, if you're scoring at home. He just fits what they like, and then he's also like when they picked Kevin Korchinski and Sam Rinzel, who they are very high on still. They were kind of guys that weren't too much talked about even around the draft range they were taken at, and it just really to me fits what the Blackhawks would like to do and the type of players they're going to do. So that brings up to the Nashville Predators, and you're probably wondering, why hasn't Carter Bear been picked yet? Well, wonder no more. Here he goes at 26. It's just that Achilles injury is scary. I mean, he's doing great now, but injuries are funny. Like it could not be fine right for a while. And so that's why I have him sliding that. And he's not the biggest guy. He's listed at 6 foot even, 179 pounds. Really good player, very similar to Victor Eklund, who I have going at 13 to the Red Wings. He could go a lot earlier than this. He really could. But I just think with his size and his injury and just everything else involved and just teams just picking players they like and are good fits, I see him sliding a bit. That brings up the Washington Capitals. The Washington Capitals came out of nowhere this year, and I don't think anyone expected them to be in the running for the President's Trophy as long as they were. I think they missed out on it by a very small margin. It was a great year for them. It was very exciting. Well, the regular season was, at least, with Ovechkin breaking Gretzky's record with most goals ever, and them having a great year. And it wasn't really expected. But here they are at 27. They didn't have the strongest playoffs. They struggled a little bit with the Canadiens, but the Canadiens are good. And then just the Hurricanes they're playoff tested, and that's it is what it is. So here I have them taking Vaclav Nestrasil. They love big players, 6'5", 187 pounds. So he's got plenty of frame to put muscle on. And they also like foreign kind of players, and I could just really see the Capitals going with Nestrasil here. Now the Jets, they won the President's Trophy, lost in the second round of the playoffs. How often do you hear that? It's the thing about sports is sometimes teams that are built for the regular season aren't built for the playoffs, and that's what you have happening sometimes. Here they're going to take another bit of a faller in Malcolm Spence. Malcolm Spence, teammate with Matthew Schaefer, 6'1", 203 pounds. It's kind of a defensive forward, but he does everything well. Really good player. I really think that I really think that the Jets are going to be happy with Malcolm Spence here. The Hurricanes are up next, and I think I think they need center depth, and I think the best center available right now is Jack Murtagh. Murtagh is 6'1", 200 pounds. Plays out of the USNDTP. The Hurricanes have a ton of prospects. They have so many. It seems like every year they're drafting they have 12 picks every draft. But yeah, I think that they could really use a good center, and I think Murtagh is the best one left. The Sharks are up now at 30, and they went forward first pick. I got them going defense second pick. They're gonna take Sascha Boumedienne. Plays at Boston College. He is a 6'1", 175 pound defenseman, puck mover. I think he's the best defenseman available. I think he's the last. Well, obviously we're here at 30. But he's like the last first round quality defenseman. Brings up the Flyers again, and the Flyers are once again very happy to come to their microphone or their iPhone or whatever they're doing this year in the draft with it being decentralized, and they're going to take Bill Zonnon. I see Wayne Simmons. I see a lot of Wayne Simmons in Bill Zonnon. Zonnon. I heard it pronounced Zano once. I kind of like that. But I see a left-handed Wayne Simmons here. 6'2", if I'm not mistaken. 6'2", 187. Plays for the Armada. This would be a pretty great pick for the Flyers to get a power forward, and I think I heard he's playing center this year too. I thought he was a winger. It seems like I see him as listed as a winger a lot of times, but it's a really good pick for the Flyers. They're going to be really happy if they get these three players. This would be a great draft for the Flyers. And bringing up the last pick is the Calgary Flames. They have the Panthers pick. Congratulations to the Panthers. Great season. What an amazing, dominant playoff run. Just I thought the Maple Leafs might win the cup this year. I know that's silly because they're the Maple Leafs. But I mean, look at the talent on the Maple Leafs. And the Panthers, they just take your will away from you. They did that to the Oilers this year in the finals. They did it to the Maple Leafs, and just that's an unbelievable team. I'm struggling to figure out who's gonna unseat them as the Stanley Cup champions next year. I could see them maybe three-peating, but that's hard. It's so hard after what they go through, what their bodies go through, the physical game they play. It'd be tough, but I mean they're really good, and they have that advantage of the no state tax. So, regardless, the Calgary Flames, I already had them taking 18. I already have them taking Cole Reschny. So they're going to go defense. And out of the London Knights, they're going to take Henry Brzustewich. He is 6'2", 203 pounds. He plays for the Memorial Cup champion London Knights. He's a good defenseman, right-handed defenseman. He's the partner of the Sharks. First round pick from last year. What was his name? Dickinson, I think it is. Anyway, I mean, Henry Brzustewich, his brother's a prospect with the Sharks. So maybe the Sharks will take him. But I haven't taken Boumedienne because I just think he has higher upside. And so that does it for my first ever episode, my first mock draft. Tell me what you think. I'm going to have some changes coming up. I'm going to have better graphics and other things than that. This is my first ever episode. So, yeah. Thanks for tuning in.